guys, it's Mrs. Lamphere. This is a short video going over the upcoming credit and debt project. I went over this on Tuesday in our Class Connect, but after seeing some of your submissions, I don't think it really got through on the importance of this project and the amount of effort that needs to take place. So this is a video showing you more of what my expectations are for this project. First of all, I summarized everything down a little bit more for you. This is an 80-point project, so that's why I have really high expectations for it, and I'm going to do a better job of communicating that to you now through this video. So for this project, you can either create a brochure or a PowerPoint, either one's fine with me, on tips for a person who is about to get and use their first credit card. I also added in a whole bunch of questions you should be answering with this paper. Don't use this for an outline of your paper or your brochure, but after reading your information, I should be able to answer these questions. What should people look for when starting a credit card? What should they be aware of about interest rates and that 0% APR for however many months? We talked about that at our Class Connect on Tuesday. If you're unfamiliar, go watch the recording. How does your credit score come into play? What does the credit score mean? How is one calculated? How can short-term credit card debt turn into long-term debt? What are some proper ways to manage a credit card? What are some average interest rates? Okay, those are all things you should be answering in your project, no matter if you do a brochure, a paper, a PowerPoint. This is the information I need to see. And you'll notice, I said this in our Class Connect, but apparently some of you did not see this part in there. Use the notes you took over the text and in your assignments, but you also need to use 3 to 5 outside resources. And with using those resources, you need to cite them properly, which I'm going to go over here in a second. Another option, you could write a position paper on using a credit card. Are you pro or con? You need to defend your choice using information from this section and 3 to 5 outside resources. No bigger than 12-point font, double spaced. Okay, you can't send me an 18 font paper that's 2 pages and think that that's going to work. I have the rubric here. We'll look at that too. You'll notice that 20% of your grade comes from citing your sources. So let's go over how to do that. This is EasyBib.com. This should be a staple in your frequently used websites. You will need to use this to properly cite your sources for the rest of my projects and any other projects that you do in other classes that they ask for your resources. This is the best tool for you to use in order to cite things properly. This is how it works. Okay, so say I'm doing my project on credit and debt. Maybe I want to look up ways to properly manage a credit card. Search. Okay, so then there's all these articles here about how to properly manage your credit card. So you need to open them, read them. I actually found one that I like over here that I'm going to use. So you need to make sure your source is legitimate. Women's Day magazine, a very popular, well-known magazine, so I know that this is a legitimate resource. Yahoo Answers, not a legitimate resource. Anybody can respond on Yahoo Answers, so it is not a good resource. I can't believe how many times I see Yahoo Answers. Okay, so the next thing with using resources, you cannot use them word for word. Big no-no. You can't copy and paste, and you can't type what this article says. You need to read through the article and then summarize it in your own words and cite the source properly. So for instance, this article has a suggestion, register at your card's website, check your account online frequently, even if you're receiving paper statements. So you would summarize that into your own words. And you say one suggestion is to check your balance on your card recently. And you could go on to say this will help look for charge penalties, maybe people, identity theft, okay, that type of information. So you include that, you put the information into your own words, you place it in your project or in your paper, and then you cite this source. And here's how you do that. So I have this article here from Women's Day magazine. I go and I Control C to copy the link of this article. Back to EasyBib. So EasyBib is set up to cite hundreds of different resources. Actually 59 to be exact. So here's all the different types of resources you could cite. Okay, we are using a website, so I'm going to go ahead and use this space here to paste the link to my website. And I hit the Cite This button. And after I hit Cite This, it fills in as much information as it can generate on its own from this article. So it's an online article. Here's the article title that it filled in for me. Contributors. It could not pick up on who the authors were by the website alone. So I go back here, I look at the article. Oh, look, by Mary Hunt. So I go back to EasyBib and I type in Mary Hunt. Next, website title. It was Women's Day was the website that housed this article. Publisher. Could not pick up the publisher on its own, so let's go back. And a lot of times the publishing information is found clear at the bottom of a lot of websites. This looks like it was published by Hearst Communications Incorporated. A lot of times whoever it's copywritten by is who it was published by. So I'm going to go with Hearst Communications Incorporated. So I type that information in here. I already typed it earlier, so I can just do that. Yes, make sure you are including the link to the article that you chose. You need to find out when it was electronically published, and sometimes you will find that, sometimes you won't. I believe on this article I was not able to find a specific date that this was published. Let's just take a quick look here. Okay, I'm not seeing any dates other than the 2013 copyright, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there, 2013. And also, it automatically fills in the date you accessed the article, November 7th, so that's easy too. Okay, so I filled in as much information that I could that it could not generate on its own. I hit Create Citation, drum roll please, and there is my source. Okay, so this is a properly cited source that I need to include in my paper. So I highlight that information, Control C to copy. I go find my Word document here. And I already have one source in there. I'm going to paste another one. They're actually the same source because I've already done this, as I showed the Class Connect or the Class Clinic session earlier. So you'll just continue to copy and paste to list the different sources that you used for your project. Again, you should have 3 to 5. If you have more, then use more. But you need to include all of them, and this would be like if you're writing a paper, maybe this is your last page and it's called Works Cited. Okay? And you cite all the sources that you used for that project. Okay, so it's super easy. Yes, a little more time consuming, but you're not plagiarizing because you're properly citing your source. As long as you don't copy word for word what the article said, you're fine. So that is how you cite your source for this project and future projects to come. To show you what I'm going to be looking for when I'm grading, here's the rubric that I also have linked on that page. You'll notice 20% of your grade is going towards your textual evidence or citations. So is your claim supported by evidence? Did you use multiple resources? Did you use proper citation format? That all goes into your grade. Then you'll see 50% is going towards content and the information you're including. I'm also looking at organization, word choice, conventions. So check out this rubric to kind of guide you with how to write these papers. And I have the rubric linked right here on the page. So that should give you a better idea of what I'm expecting for this report. You can submit it and to have me grade it, and once I grade it and submit it back to you, make the corrections that I suggest so that you can resubmit it and get some more points back. So to wrap it up, that was a summary of what my expectations are for this upcoming credit and debt project. Make sure you include those resources. If you have any questions, please let me know.